Hey guys, welcome back to BigK Crypto. Today I'm doing just another rundown on the Ethereum Gold.io smart contract. What had happened over the last couple of days with the DDoS attack. Has it all been resolved? All that kind of stuff. I'll then also go into a refresher course on how to set up and get into a contract like Ethereum Gold, okay? And why you'd want to do that. But more importantly, a step-by-step on how to interact with the contract and get in on such a safe investment with crypto. Now, safe and crypto doesn't usually go in the same sentence. Believe me, everything in crypto, as we know, is a risk, okay? Even this to a very, very small extent. However, this is the safest thing I have seen in the crypto space. In fact, I was going to say for a long time, but in fact, actually, since the first moment I stepped into the crypto space myself, I haven't seen anything more safer than this smart contract. All right, guys. So I'm going to go into how to get yourself set up and into this smart contract. And finally, I'm going to go into the updates of where I am in case you're following my own journey with Ethereum Gold and what my future plans are. Before we get into it, of course, the usual disclaimer applies. Pause it, read it and understand it. This is not financial advice. I do not have a gun to your head, and anything that you do is off your own back and your own responsibility. Now, with that out of the way, let me just first address this whole DDoS attack thing. Now, I know there was a lot of talk on different Telegram groups. There was a lot of talk on even my videos and my channels and other top YouTuber channels who are investing into Ethereum Gold, where people were saying either the site has gone down or the backup sites aren't working for them, etc. So I'm just going to address this issue once, and I'm not going to go back into this again just because it's irrelevant. I didn't lose any sleep over it, and neither should you. So what had happened was it was as simple as a DDoS attack. Essentially, it's something that's very common in this space, especially when it comes to these smart contracts. Now, of course, Ethereum Gold over the last few days or the last week has really increased its traction, okay? And other smart contracts may have seen that as either a threat or an opportunity for them to come out with their own smart contract or whatever. So this kind of malicious behavior isn't uncommon, but that's all it is. It's not a big deal. As you can see with what you're looking at in front of you, this is the original Ethereum Gold.io link that I gave out from my first video, which was the site that went down. This was the actual site that went down and was down for, I don't know, was it a day and a half, 2 days max? And as you can see, it is fully operational. And I know it's fully operational because I've already interacted with it. I've already made some changes on it and it works as normal. Now, obviously, when this did go down, there was no reason for us to stress. Okay, for two main reasons. One, there were other backup links, as I put in my last video, and I'll keep those links below as well. I really do recommend you bookmark them and keep them as backups in case something like this does happen again. And it's this, which was goldchip.fund, and of course the original gandiji.io. Now, something like this might not look too pleasing to your eyes, especially if you're used to this kind of layout. For me, I was in Gandiji last year, so I'm very familiar with this kind of layout, and that's fine. But keep them all as bookmarks. Make sure that you have them there just in case any one of these sites does stop operating for whatever reason. But the most important one to make sure that you have bookmarked as well is the contract itself, okay? The smart contract in the Etherscan. So this again is in the description below. And this is the brains behind the beauty of the smart contract, okay? This is where all the magic actually happens, not here. Here is the pretty face, the ease of use, the common sense, press this, it will do that, press this, it will do that kind of thing. But what's actually happening is it's all happening through this contract in the back end, which of course you can actually interact with as well. Now, I mentioned that, and I've mentioned this in the past few videos. It is something that you are able to do. So for instance, if all of these backup sites did go down, then you can interact with the contract itself through here. I'd recommend that you don't do this unless it's absolutely necessary, purely because it could be very easy for you to make a mistake and you won't be able to revert that mistake. So, this is your complete last resort if you need to interact with the contract in any way, and you can't do that from any of the free faces that I've given you. So that's basically it. Everything is back to normal now. Everything is running at its optimum. You've got your Ethereum Gold.io, you've got your gold chip fund, you've got your Gandiji, and you've got your smart contract. So there is no reason to worry. There's no reason to keep you up at night. I can understand why some of you might have been a bit worried, just because it's the first time you may have invested in a smart contract like this. So I do get that. But, honestly, it was nothing to worry about. Everything has been sorted. There's nothing really much more to say about it. Everything is back to normal, and that's that. So I'm going to move on to how to set up and how to get into Ethereum Gold, especially if this is your first time interacting with smart contracts. This could be your first video looking into something like Ethereum Gold, and if it is, welcome. I'm just going to go through the initial steps on how to get started with investing into this smart contract, how to do it step by step, and after why and what the strategies are that you can use with this smart contract. So first of all, to be able to talk to these smart contracts, you need to have a wallet that's going to talk directly to it, which is the metamask.io. So if you do click my link below in the description box, you'll come to this face, okay, Ethereum Gold. However, it will say something like Ethereum Gold.io ref null. That basically means you're not set up, you're not talking with the smart contract yet. To do so, if you haven't done so already, you're going to go to the metamask.io site. Okay, again, the link is in the description below, and you're going to click download. You will download it as a Chrome extension, just as I have done here, as you can see on the screen. And once you've done that, it will ask you to do your standard backup of seed phrases, write them down if you need to, or do whatever kind of precautions you need to do when setting up these kind of wallets. Make sure it's as secure as possible, or as you're happy with, and then you're ready to go. Okay, so once it's downloaded, if this still says the same thing as it did before, you'll click refresh, and it should then turn into some kind of longer link like what you see in front of you. And what this link is your referral link. So if you want to share your link later on, then that's the link to do so. But that basically essentially tells you that you are talking to the contract. You are logged into the contract. It's essentially like your sign-in page, okay? You're signed in. So what you'll do is you'll go to your MetaMask now. Of course, you will have 0 ETH in here because you just set up the wallet, and you're going to want to deposit some Ethereum into this wallet. And you're going to do so by clicking deposit, and you're going to have some options here. Directly deposit Ether, which is what we're going to choose. And you have these two, which is wire and coin switch, so exchanging coin to coin. I haven't looked into these into too much detail. From what I remember when I did in the past, they were quite high in fees, but that's down to you if you want to use them. What I would recommend is you buy your Ethereum through an exchange. I will link a video in the top right corner of the screen showing you what exchanges you can use to buy Bitcoin or any crypto instantly. You're going to want to deposit your Ethereum here, and you're going to do so like this. So you're going to click view account, and you're going to have your QR code as well as your long address. Now, depending on what wallet you're using or what exchange you used and how you're sending it, I prefer to use the QR code. So on Exodus, you can actually just get a little screen that you drag across over to the barcode, and it scans it automatically. Or you can just right click, copy and paste it in. Make sure your first few digits and last digits are exactly the same, just for due diligence to make sure you're sending it to the correct address. Once you've done that, you'll click send, and you'll wait a few moments depending on how busy the network is, and your Ethereum will turn up here. Now, once your Ethereum's turned up here, it means you are now able to communicate and buy your gold tokens through the Ethereum Gold smart contract. Now, essentially, you have these tokens, okay, and that's what you're buying, but try not to get too deep and heavy into tokens, okay? You can have gold tokens, you can have IND tokens, which is what Gandhiji say, but just see it as Ethereum, all right? You're buying your Ethereum's worth. Now, I'm not going to actually buy anything here for your example, just because I've got just under an Ethereum in my MetaMask wallet. You can only buy in round figures. For example, 1 ETH, 2 ETH, 3 ETH, or 4. You can't purchase 0.5 or 0.3 or 0.7 of an Ethereum. But what you will simply do is type in 1 Ethereum here. You'll click buy gold tokens, and in the top left corner of your screen, a MetaMask notification box will appear. Sometimes it doesn't, guys. If you think, hold on, nothing's really appeared on my screen, you can see here at the top right, there's a little 1 there. It's telling me that there is something as a backlog, some kind of notification for me to action upon. And we can see here the total that I'll be spending is 1 Ethereum plus gas fee. Okay, again, gas fee, just see it as a transaction fee. If you click edit, you can change the speed. If there's not much in it, as you can see, from average to fast, you can rather than wait 2 minutes, you can wait 30 seconds on average. Okay, it's not exact, and it's only 7 cents more expensive. So, you know, you can click fast, then you click save, and at that point you will just click confirm. Of course, I can't do that because I've got insufficient funds in the MetaMask at the moment, but that's it. Once you've done that, you can click the Fox icon at the top right, and it will say buy pending. Okay, just telling you that the order is pending. And once it's confirmed, all of this will then update. It will tell you exactly how many tokens you have, how much of Ethereum you have in gold tokens, your total dividends, etc., and the rest of the platform. Now, you will notice if you put in, let's say 5 ETH, you'll only have something like 4.2 or 4.3, whatever, or 4.4, I can't remember. But the reason being is because 20% gets taken out from your initial investment. Why? Because as you can see here, we have a 10% dividend distribution when you buy your gold tokens and a 10% dividend distribution when you sell your gold tokens. And this is how we all make this passively run and earn income for ourselves. And this is how everybody wins in the contract. Whenever somebody buys gold tokens, 10% of what they've bought is divided between all the members and all of the token holders in this smart contract. And the same goes for when people sell their gold tokens. When they sell, everyone who's a token holder gets 10% of the dividends distributed to their funds. Okay, and as you can see here, we have a total dividends box, and this total dividends box, as you can see, is telling me I've got over 2 ETH worth. And that's the main general idea of the site. If for whatever reason you're in it and you want to pull everything out, and this is, I want to highlight this because I know some people might be wondering, how do I pull everything out if I need to in an instant? So I have in total 1,596 gold tokens, okay, plus my divvies that I have down here. What I will do is I'll put this number in this box and I will sell that amount of gold tokens, and when I do, that will turn up here. Okay, this should empty out and it will turn up in this box. At that point, it's as simple as just click withdraw ETH and everything will be withdrawn to your MetaMask. Why would you do that is another question. Of course, if you need to access the money for whatever reason, then that's fine. But the idea of the smart contract, guys, is that it's there for the long term. Okay, this is a long game. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. This is a much better way of basically staking. All right, what you're doing is you're staying in the contract by owning X amount of tokens with your Ethereum, and every time someone buys the tokens and every time someone sells their tokens, you get dividends. Okay, it's as simple as that. Now, there are different strategies you can take to this. I, for one, am using the Oracle strategy, which is essentially don't reinvest. The reinvest basically means you'll get all of the dividends that you've got here, and you'll be using that to buy more gold tokens. Now, that is another strategy, and I know it's worked for some people, but for me, I'm using this strategy, which is essentially quite similar to Oracle's core number strategy. And what my job is, and in fact, actually, I'm going to give you an example. My job is here, I invested 10 ETH in total into this contract, okay? My end goal, or not my end goal, but the end of my first chapter that I'm going to come to, and I'm going to come to it quite soon, is to get my total dividends to match my total investment that I made. So at the moment, I'm over 2. I'm just over 2 Ethereum in dividends, and I want this to be 10. Once this is 10 Ethereum, I would have had 10 Ethereum that I've invested into the contract, plus 10 Ethereum that I have as dividends. At that point, it all depends on the circumstances of where we are in the contract, price-wise, and quite a few other things. I will decide at that point what I'll be doing, whether I'll be reinvesting it or pulling all of those dividends out. So essentially everything in here is just then a free money machine, okay, a free perpetual money machine that just keeps generating dividends over and over, or I can just partially withdraw my dividends. But for now, what I want to be doing to speed up that process to getting my ROI, which is my return on investment, I have 10.2122 ETH. I'm going to use 10 ETH, which is my investment number, as my core number. So what I can do is I can shave off the top here and sell those tokens of 0.2 and put them into my dividends. And to do that, what I would do is I'll type in a number here. Now, of course, I need to do, I'm not going to do the math, but I'm just going to kind of start messing around with some numbers. Let's say I type in 40 gold tokens. That's going to give me approximately 0.25 worth of ETH. That's a bit over. Let's go to 3.5. That's 2.2, almost 3.4. 2177. Okay, it's just a bit over. So 2113. So that's just a bit under. So what I would do, in fact, I'm going to show you a live example of this. I'm going to press sell, and we're going to get this notification box from MetaMask as we talked about earlier. I will click edit, and I'll just gauge the gas fees. Now we have 6 cents between this and this. So let's click fast for the sake of the video because I want you to see it happen in real time. I'll click save, confirm, and we wait. Okay, as we can see, if I click the MetaMask extension, it will say sell pending. Now remember guys, we've got 10.2122 and just under 2.1 ETH worth of dividends. So as we can see, we've got a confirmed transaction. We can close that. So as you can see, now we have gone down to my core number again, which is my 10 Ethereum, which is what was my initial investment. My total dividends has now gone up to 2.3. And this is the idea, guys. Okay, we keep doing this. Let's say if I look at this in a day or two, this will be 10.3, 10.4, 10.5, whatever. I will then move that over into this, and this will start speeding this up. Again, remember guys, the idea, the end goal of this strategy is to match this number to the amount that you invested in. So I invested in 10 Ethereum. I'm going to get this to 10 Ethereum. And that's basically it, guys. I'm glad I got a chance to show you a live demonstration of that on one of my videos. Now, you know, again, as we said, guys, this is a long-term investment. This isn't something that you're going to be in and in 3 days you're going to be out of unless you need to for whatever reason. For me, because I'm doing videos on this smart contract quite regularly, I'm always on the site. But I would recommend, if you've gone in, if you've invested into it, don't check it every day. Otherwise you're going to feel like it's not doing anything. Okay, just like the Oracle says, it's like watching paint dry sometimes, you know, depending on how much traffic the contract has in and out. I would say, you know, check it out once every couple of weeks or once every month, and you will see your results. Okay, you need to have strong hands. Don't start getting scared and you know, bailing if you need to. If you start seeing this price dropping, I mean, look, another update, guys. We have smashed through all-time highs. We're almost at 3,000 ETH in the contract market cap. The last, as we said before, the last all-time high we had was 2,350, just over. We're almost at 3,000 now. This is amazing traction. Okay, this is the Oracle wave. At some point, you know, what goes up does come down. All right, and when it does, some people psychologically will start selling, and if they do, don't panic. Who cares if they start selling? When they start selling, it's great. You start getting even more dividends. So whatever happens, you get dividends. You just got to stay in it. My end goal for this is when I get my 10 ETH here, I can pull that out, I can save that, and everything else becomes a perpetual money machine. As I just said, it's going to generate its own money. It's going to generate its own dividends, its own Ethereum. And I'm going to leave that for my pension. I'm going to leave that for my kids. I'm going to pay my kids' college fund with it. I'm going to pay, you know, God knows what in the future. This is something you can leave your kids, your grandkids, and everything. So it's an awesome smart contract, especially if you're not sure what to do with your crypto, guys. You're quite new into crypto. You've bought Bitcoin or Ethereum. You're holding on to it. Maybe you're doing a bit of trading. Maybe you're trying a little bit of buying shit tokens and altcoins and stuff like that. And you're a bit lost in the space. You don't know what to do. This is a great investment for you in the long term. Okay, this isn't a hype. This isn't something that's going to be around one day and gone the next. It is fully verified. It's fully audited. So the contract isn't going anywhere. Even if the developer decided to, you know, just retire and go to Jamaica or the Bahamas, this contract isn't going to go anywhere. It stays. So enjoy it. You know, put in whatever you can afford, whatever you're willing to invest into it, and just enjoy the process. This is a far better way of staking things like Ethereum. Okay, it's a movement. The community behind Ethereum Gold, all right, behind GandhiJi, is super strong, and for very good reason. Okay, they're all sticking to the contract. If you're a fan of things like Telegram groups and stuff like that, go onto their Telegram group, introduce yourself, get talking to the guys. If you've got any questions, you can ask there. If you've got any questions on Ethereum Gold, feel free to ask them here as well in the comments below. If you need any extra help, you know, assisting you into setting it up, or buying or selling any of your tokens, I'm more than happy to help you there. Enjoy it, start investing, and yeah, I think I can wrap it up there. I hope you guys have a wicked week. Make sure you get that cheddar, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.